Welcome to another episode of the WCPO High School Insider podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dyer. Happy football week to everybody around the tri-state in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. It's the season opening games across the tri-state, and what a great way to kick off the high school sports calendar year with several games to watch. And we're going to have it all covered for you here with the WCPO High School Insider podcast the entire season long, all the way through December and the state championship games. A little bit later, we're going to have a conversation with Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown organizer Tom Gamble about this year's lineup in the 24th annual Crosstown Showdown. This High School Insider podcast is presented by our local Chick-fil-A restaurants, where the winning play for August is the Chicken Club Sandwich. Go for the extra point with a side of their macaroni and cheese. Well, everybody is talking about the big Lakota West at St. Xavier matchup on Friday night. It is a rematch of the 2020 Division I regional final at Lakota West. Such a memorable game that people remember that Liam Clifford had that game-winning touchdown with just seconds to go to lift the Bombers to victory. They would end up winning the Division I state championship as well. But I had a chance to catch up with St. Xavier Athletic Director Brian Reinhart this week, talking about not only the anticipation of this season, but what to expect from a sold-out crowd there at RDI Stadium.
We're excited. It's already starting. I mean, you can feel it. Our freshmen are in today for freshman orientation. All of our faculty and staff have been in since Friday. So the school is certainly coming to life, and you can just get the sense of anticipation and excitement, not only to be back to school, but to get fall sports underway. And we're just really excited to be opening such a big game week one. And it's a week earlier, so it's a little chaotic with everything else going on. But I know our team's getting ready. They've been working all summer. And, us as a school and as athletics, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, thrilling. People are anxious to get out and about. To do things, of course. So we know that it's going to be a hot ticket, and it's certainly going to be, up to the expectation of a rematch, certainly from last year. Two completely different teams, but a nice little rivalry, of course, with our coaches and now with our players as well.
Did you say, do you have an anticipation of the crowd size or what tickets?
Yeah, I mean, we hold around 7,500. So, we have no doubt that we will reach that, certainly. So we are being strategic in how we release tickets. Last year, everything was via code and a certain number. So people are kind of used to that. So we are working with Lakota West to make sure that, our students, especially, and our football families are able to get tickets before we really open it up to the whole public, because we know there's so many people want to come, but we want to make sure those people have, first priority, and then we'll be opening up later in the week for the general public until we sell out.
And any restrictions or any protocols that we're aware of is before ending this game?
No, it's very much a school by school and basis. The OHSAA, Hamilton County, the state of Ohio has not said about any regulations at this point. Certainly, we want to encourage people to be safe while plenty, hand sanitizer, hand washing. We're encourage people to wear masks if they can't stay within 6 feet. We know it's outside, so for the most part, it's hard to transmit it, as we know via science, which is important. But no, there will not be necessarily any regulations per se on that, but we will be making announcements and reminders for people to, it's always good to do that anyway, going forward with flu season and just, that many people in that amount of space, certainly you always want to be careful.
Well, as you could tell there from Brian Reinhart, the anticipation is sky high for hosting this big-time game on Friday night. And as you could also hear in his voice and seeing his smile, the chance to bring back fans at a full capacity there at RDI Stadium at Balaban Field is just something to behold. So I know that a lot of people will be looking forward to that game, and that's going to be certainly one to watch. And obviously, you're going to have to look to that matchup again once the postseason arrives as well. But transitioning a little bit to Mason head football coach Brian Castner, they're having a 60th anniversary reunion of all the teams that have played throughout the Mason Comets football history. It's a really neat event that they have set up here. And Brian talked about the significance of Mason football within the community and a chance to bring back 50-plus alumni on Friday night. Tell me how this came about when you started preparing for it and how you sent out the invitations, all that sort of thing.
So basically, we always talk about the long green line as a staff. I lean on my coordinators a lot. Darren Little's a graduate of Mason.
Is this going to be a pregame thing or halftime ceremony?
Halftime. Well, we're going to do a pregame at 6 where we'll have tents set up and, they'll have food and drinks and then kind of a meet and greet and talk. And our coaches will be in and out of that because we'll be getting ready for the game, obviously. And then at 6:45, they're going to come into our locker room for the pregame talk. And then after that, they'll, watch the game. And then at halftime, we're going to recognize all the way from basically the 50-yard line all the way, 50-plus yard line to the 1-yard line, which is the goal line closest to the locker room where team 1 will be. And I think right now we're at like 7 or 8 players from team 1, which is, again, pretty cool. We did it, and we did something similar to this when we did team 50 years of celebration, because that was my third year, I think it was. Second or third year. And we actually, that's when Tom Lichtenberg was still alive. But we had Tom Lichtenberg there, and then Tim Lichtenberg and some of the bigger names as coaches. I take a lot of pride in being the head football coach at Mason High School. I don't take it lightly ever. And I understand the being at the largest high school in the state of Ohio, I understand that I'm the 7th head coach in the history of Mason football. And the 6 prior to me, I think about them. I got it on my desk in my office. I look at those six names every day. Actually, Gary Popovich is on our staff. So, 2 of the last 7 are still coaching at Mason High School. And then the other ones obviously are the Lichtenbergs and, Sudmack and those guys. But I don't take any of that lightly. And I'm very passionate about what we're trying to do, not just on the field, but off the field, and creating that tradition.
I've known Mason head football coach Brian Castner for a number of years. This is his 12th year at the helm, and you could tell he talks about the long green line wherever he has a chance. It is genuine for him. It is authentic, and I know it will evoke a lot of emotions, not only for Brian and his coaching staff, but for the players and all the fans there at Dwyer Field on Friday night. Hey, everybody, I want to remind you that this High School Insider podcast is presented by our local Chick-fil-A restaurants, where the winning play for August is the Chicken Club Sandwich. Go for the extra point with the side of their macaroni and cheese. Well, this past week, I had an opportunity to catch up with in-game sports president Tom Gamble, the longtime organizer of the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. We talked a lot about high school football and matchups, but I think the true takeaway from the conversation was about getting back to full fan capacity at these high school football venues. And take a listen to what Tom said about the history of the Showdown, but also the opportunity to engage fans once again. Tom, it's hard to believe it's the high school football season already in Ohio. Maybe the earliest start that I can ever remember. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong about that. But 24th annual Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown begins this week. And Tom, tell me what you're looking forward to the most about this year's schedule.
Well, Mike, I got to be honest with you. Hopefully a normal season of high school football, right? And I do believe, I don't remember it ever being August 19th, August 20th. That does seem earlier. And at least now we have all 3 of the tri-state, the states, all starting on the same week, because it used to be hard to figure all that out. But I'm just looking forward to, Mike, I just think, as you do, we all love high school football. I think and I think last year was so different that you just hope that, student sections can get back to being the way they were, and fans and stands and packed crowds and we just hope that's the way it is, because I think that's what makes high school football, and not only in this area but anywhere, is when, and there we have some great programs, some great players, great teams, and it just seemed weird last year. I mean, we were out there on the sidelines hanging out, doing our same thing, with the protocol in place. But, when you just showed up and there was hardly anybody there, it was just a weird feeling. So to me, that's the thing I'm most looking forward to, because I do think we have some really, really, if you look at the preseason rankings in Ohio and the state, we've obviously got some pretty darn good teams in this region again.
Well, Tom, obviously you had your VIP kickoff dinner there with all the area high school head football coaches involved in the Showdown recently. And Just tell me, what's the vibe? You kind of alluded to it, the fact of last year and hopefully having a much more quote unquote normal season this year. But what are the coaches saying about, getting back at it this August?
Well, I know this, Mike, when you offer coaches a Skyline Chili buffet and a beverage or two, that they're ready to roll. I mean, I think, we created this thing and we do it at the 4th and Sycamore Skyline Chili downtown. And it's designed to just be a kind of a casual, fun evening before it really all begins. Get together with your colleagues. And that's, Mike, I think that's what's cool to see Tom Bolden and Steve Speck just hang out near the front of the restaurant and talk for 45 minutes to an hour. Those guys that'll be against each other, states 1 and 2, defending state champ, met in the regional with that great game, just hanging out. I sense, Mike, the same sentiment that I kind of talked about earlier. I think they all, last year you didn't just have to be a high school football coach. You had to be someone dealing with protocols and everything from a medical standpoint with COVID-19. So, I mean, they were more, coaching was part of it. Now they're hoping, and again, we're all hoping that you just get back to coaching. So last year they had to do much more than that. And I'm not, and I can tell you from being out there, I thought all the schools and all the coaches did an outstanding job for never having faced a global pandemic before. But I think this year, they're just getting ready to get back to traditional, the Friday nights, to having fun, to, being able to focus on football and enjoying themselves. And I think they all know, I think there are a lot of programs out there that have a chance to be really good. Some are young, some graduated a ton. It's another year, and it's starting over. And, tonight, or I should say last week was the last week of scrimmages. And so we'll see. I mean, I just think everybody's really ready to get it rolling and hope it continues moving in the right direction.
Tom, I don't know if you can address this or not, because I know this is just a rumor, but I had heard that this opening weekend there was a chance that prior to the scheduling being finalized that there were going to be some games at TQL Stadium. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure can. I'm happy to, Mike. We started, I want to say, 8 to 10 months ago. I had the opportunity to go down and visit. It was kind of when it was just brick and mortar, and they were showing me the renderings and expressing an interest that they would love to host some high school football games down there. So I'm sure. The general manager of the facility, a guy named Dan Lally, he was the GM of Crew Stadium back when we held Moeller and Pickerington North up there as part of the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. Then he went to Sporting KC. He's from Greater Cincinnati. Now he's back here. And boy, when I saw that facility, I'm like, wow, you want to do some football? We've got just the football to bring. And he knows of the Showdown, knew of it since then. So we met and talked and really got to the point where we had 2 games scheduled, Lakota West, St. X, and Covington Catholic and Elder. And we're intending on it being this Friday, 1 game, Saturday, the other, until, and look, if you're in soccer and they're obviously an MLS team with an awesome brand new facility, and you get a chance to host U.S., Mexico, and a World Cup qualifier, which they do, and I've been told that they're going to get another U.S. the women's national team here in probably what would be an exhibition, et cetera. But the way it works in the soccer world is they have stipulations, i.e., if we're going to bring this match to you, you have to do this. One of that is not have any non-soccer events on your playing service. If you remember when the U.S. men's team came to Nippert Stadium when FC Cincinnati was playing there, they made them put a grass field on top of the field that FC Cincinnati played on. So, again, for them, it's huge. They were great, and I love the fact that they're interested. Next year being, I believe, 25-year anniversary silver, I think that's but what a way to kind of have the 25-year anniversary and really kind of blow this thing out if we're able to go down there. We've had discussions about next year. Hopefully we'll be able to lock that down much earlier. But, yeah, disappointed because I know these teams were really excited about that opportunity. But, when you're at St. X Friday night, it'll be packed. When you're at the Pit Friday night, it'll be packed. So, that's the one thing about when you have to go back to the campus facility. And for me, if you remember the NCAA rules preventing a third party, i.e. my company, In-Game Sports, from using a facility of a BCS school, Nippert Stadium, University of Cincinnati, which was our anchor hub for the Showdown for 18 years. And then that went away. So, looking forward and hopefully be able to use this awesome facility, TQL Stadium, and fans are right on the field, a lot of offerings for club seating and suites, et cetera. So it'd be really cool if we can make that happen for our 25-year anniversary.
I know you probably get asked this every season, but with all the NCAA rules changing at lightning speed right now, do you ever see Nippert coming back into the picture for the Showdown?
That's a great question. I mean, I certainly would love it if it could be that way. But who knows? I mean, the NCAA, I mean, with all that's going on, now with the likeness and the image and all, I mean, that's something I think people at the high school level are even going, where do we go with this? Will this ever become a factor? And I believe in California, it already may be that. So anyway, I think, for me, I'll wait until that, kind of ground clears and then think about it. But until then, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And the whole purpose of the Showdown, Mike, has always been to kind of provide a center stage, provide a spotlight for what we believe here is some of the best high school football played anywhere. And that's what we will continue to do. The format's changed now. It's not kind of crammed into a week or 2 weeks kicking off the season. It's now all season long with a focus, a featured game on Friday nights. And, it's worked well the last couple of years, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
What's the process of unveiling this year's schedule?
Yeah, so this kind of started last year because of COVID, frankly. What I chose to do last year was we knew we weren't going to be able to do a lot of the kind of on-site activation stuff because of the crowds wouldn't be there. So we went to more digital platforms, and people really liked it. Interviews and features with players and coaches. And we've got a couple added features this year I'll tell you about. So last year, what I decided to do was wait until the week of the game. Obviously, we talked to the schools well in advance about having that particular game in week 4 or week 7 be our Showdown game. But I didn't want a situation where we announced the game and then all of a sudden, because somebody were to test positive, they'd have to then a school. I didn't want to make them feel bad because, oh, man. So we had a couple behind the scenes that we'd intended to, we had to change. So, but when we were thinking in the off season, I thought, you know what? People seem to kind of like that. And look, dude, it's not like, Perry Mason could figure this out, right? Well, we're not trying to be sleuths here and withhold information, but people kind of like the fact that early in that week, we announced that Showdown game. So that's what we're doing on our Twitter at Xtown Showdown. We'll have daily content. When you do stuff, we'll post it there. This interview, people will be able to watch it if they missed it there. And of course, if you missed me the first time, you certainly don't want to miss the second time. I'm being facetious, but nonetheless, that's kind of our central hub, not just for Showdown info, which is our focus, but for anything that's high school football related that we find interesting, that we think somebody who's a big high school football fan may want to read, may want to watch, we'll post it there.
Get that sense going back to 2020 for a final thought, just the sense of gratitude that everybody had to be able to play last year. And even more so, I asked a couple coaches even this offseason going into this year. And I mean, do you get that sense? I mean, 24 years of the Showdown. Yeah. I know you take nothing for granted. You understand. No. We both know what it's like to work within high school sports, but what are you most proud of with the Showdown?
Well, Mike, I think it's funny you say that about last year. And I think the one thing I do hear from coaches is, and kids don't realize this now, but can you imagine at your reunion or when your football team gets together 20, 25 years from now, they'll be able to talk about a senior season that, and I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Now it sucks, but they'll be able to say, do you remember that? Remember how difficult that was, what we went through? And I think, if you're a St. X, you're not going to forget they've won 4 state championships, but that's one maybe, and obviously 2016 for different reasons on the field and finishing 5-5 and all that. But I think that's the thing that I think everybody should be most proud of. Media inclusive, anybody who had an event, schools, man, the work, people have no idea. The work that coaches and athletic directors, not just in football, but in any sport last year, put in just to make things stay safe, to be able to stage the games, to be able to give student athletes the opportunity to participate. And I don't think, that's the one thing I would tell you, Mike, you know me, I'm outspoken on this stuff. I think parents today are just ridiculous. I mean, I think on all levels, they're ludicrous. And I think they don't understand. And if you saw, I know you see it, we see it. If they saw all the work, and let's be honest, athletic directors, you look at ADs at the college level and you look at, other professional sports and what people are paid, folks, trust me, they're not being paid that at this level. They're doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they love it. That's why we do it, Mike. I mean, people, it's not like any of us are getting ready to head down to, Florida for the rest of our lives in some mansion. You know what I mean? I just hope to get down there a week a year and figure it out when we can go. And but we do it because we honestly enjoy this. And I don't know about you, Mike. The one thing that last year did for me, I miss being able to really commiserate with the people. I mean, I know you love talking to the people and getting good stories and all that. That's what I missed about last year. We still did it to a degree as much we could, but that's what I love. Back in my days as a high school reporter, that's the thing I loved. Going out, hanging out at a practice where you'd find out those really cool stories and stuff. That's what I missed about last year, and hopefully now we're going to get back to some of that.
It was probably a two-thought type of question there for you, but what are you most proud of the Showdown after 24 years?
Mike, I think the thing I'm most proud of is the fact that we've a couple things. One, Skyline Chili, Mercy Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Meyer. I mean, when you can keep somebody even posted this on our Twitter account, like it says something when you've got the same sponsors for almost a quarter century. So I think, now they recognize this is where they want to be, communities, the thing that people have passion about. I think doing enough, and I think on the school level, being able to put forth games, it's hard to pick 10 weeks of memorable moments from 24 years and over 300 games. So I think that, Mike, I mean, keeping, Elder's been in this every single year. We posted on our Twitter account the other schools that are in it almost every year. And the only reason some of them weren't is we had weird scheduling scenarios. I think that's the other thing. This is going to sound goofy. Never having to not go to somebody and go, hey, I got some bad news for you. I know you were counting on me to schedule your week 1 game. I don't have an opponent for you. I mean, because people don't realize I was the one who really, schools entrusted in me for decades to find them a week 1 game. And let me tell you, there were some years, there were some close calls where I would sit there like early in the calendar year and go, like literally, I can't find them a game. And fortunately, that never happened. But I think to provide that center stage, Mike, and to see and to turn on college games on Saturday, pro games on Sunday, and see Showdown alums. At one time we had 30 active players in the NFL from the Showdown. And I mean, I don't even know the number on Saturdays. And we're not talking about Saturdays like, I'm not even considering some of the levels. I'm talking about big time college football to be able to see that and know and remember when. Remember when Braxton Miller ran for 205 yards in the first half and Wayne was handing Moeller one. And Moeller came back, and at the end, Tucker Scove scored, I think, his 4th touchdown on the 4th down at the end of the game on national TV, and they beat Wayne. And in the second half, Moeller's defense held Miller to less than 10 yards. It's stuff like that. Jalen Marshall, Kyle Rudolph. I mean, the list goes on and on. That's the stuff to me that where you kind of – and you get so immersed in doing everything to make it happen, you rarely sit back and go, man, that's kind of cool, So I think that's just having the types of games. And it's a tribute. It isn't me. It's a tribute to the type and quality of people and the effort of coaches and players. That's what matters most.
About this, you have a player in the NBA too, Miles McBride.
Well, think about this. Well, Miles McBride, we had Luke Kennard. Okay. We had that. And don't forget Major League Baseball, Kyle Schwarber. I mean, Schwarber was the linebacker from Middletown when they played Simon Kenton at Nippert Stadium in an interstate game. And he might have been a better football player at the time than baseball, but I think based on his economics today, I think he made the right decision. No, you're right. I mean, those are the things that you just kind of, you don't always think about. But boy, when you see those guys and hear those guys and they represent this area and their programs really well too.
You got me brainstorming about a special 25th anniversary podcast. I want to know about those scheduling insights and near misses and late night calls, and heck, I might even put together another 25th anniversary team like we did.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, that'd be cool. There was a couple. The one I remember the most was a year that Canton McKinley, I got to make sure I get this right. Can't McKinley or Massillon, please. I don't want those people in Northeast Ohio. They already don't like Southwest Ohio sometimes as is. But they were going to play Elder, and they were fired up about it, and then that suddenly kind of dissipated. And that's where you kind of – and it was way back. It was in I want to say it was year number 2, 99, because they wound up playing Walsh Jesuit. They came down here to play at Nippert. So it's just a weird – Mike, and there were a couple other scenarios. And I love – and believe me, I love the passion of fans. Why don't you have this team play that team? Trust me, we've tried. I mean, you and I spend time in this. We know what matchups would be awesome. But that's the other thing I don't think people understand sometimes is there's plenty of matchups we would have loved to have had. Teams wouldn't play other teams. And that's just look, that's their prerogative. I think the other thing, Mike, that I always tried to never do, I never wanted to twist an arm. So in other words, I would call and I'd say, here's what I've got. I've got Nippert Stadium. I've got Saturday. I've got the marquee game. What do you think? And if they had any trepidation, if they said, well, nope, I don't want to force you. I want you to come kicking and screaming to be a part of this, not kicking and screaming to not. So, from that standpoint, I think that's the other thing I'm proud of is that these people want to keep coming back and that coaches and schools genuinely are excited to be a part of this. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel like what we've done has been beneficial. And I think, and I want to hit it again because Skyline Chili has been so awesome. I mean, we do the pep rallies throughout the fall now. It's year 10 for that, where we go out and we do it tied around some Showdown games and then other games just in general. But we do kind of that pomp and circumstance, kind of a tailgate party, if you will, at a Skyline Chili. And the fact, the one thing about Skyline that's so awesome is I've never had one school ever, there's competition. Nobody's ever said, oh, Skyline, don't bring, they've all said, oh man, Skyline, that's great. So that makes you feel good too. It makes, back in 96, looking at that Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout and saying, okay, let's try to do something in the fall. Who would make sense to get behind us? They already had such great equity in that, to their credit. And now we were able to do this and bring them on board. So it's been really cool. It's a lot of fun. And I got to be honest, Mike, the media helps too. I mean, you guys in the media covering high school football, I know it's tough and people have no idea, like sending people all over, the region on a Friday night is not easy, but that makes it good too. And I am excited. I mean, what a great kickoff game we've got Thursday night. I mean, Anderson, Princeton, both ranked in the state in divisions 1 and 2. I think they're both number 9. Princeton D1, Anderson D2. Great seasons last year. Anderson made it till they met LaSalle and lost in the regional semis. Princeton under Andre Parker, Viking Stadium there, which is an awesome facility on Thursday night. One of the few games, I know there's a couple others, but one of the few games in town. And then Friday night at St. X and Elder. I mean, it can't get much better than to start with that, with all 5 Ohio teams ranked in their respective state polls. CovCaf obviously will be, and they've only won 37 straight regular season games. So when you put all that together, that's a pretty good kickoff to the Showdown.
You're speaking with the same energy as you did 10 years ago when I was talking to you about the Showdown. So it's just great to hear you talk like this.
Less hair. I go to bed a hell of a lot earlier. I'm not going to lie. I try to watch Reds games and sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. But Mike, I mean, I think if I didn't have the energy, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think we all are in that. And coaches say that all the time. I'll stop coaching when I don't look forward to getting there and making an impact and doing what we do. Until we, get to that point, and who knows when that will be. But as long as, God willing, we can still do what we do, I'll keep doing it.
Final thought, among your other hats that you wear, GCL South Commissioner,
yep.
New athletic director there at Moeller,
yep.
Justin Bear. But
Justin Bear, correct.
Yeah, as the commissioner, what do you what is your hope for the conference this year, and what are you looking forward to the most, I guess?
Well, I think the one thing about the GCL South, Mike, is everybody focuses on football, and understandably so. But I mean, this is just, as you well know, I mean, these 4 schools in the competition. I mean, the season we had last year in soccer, the basketball with the tri-champion, I mean, just and baseball, Elder making the state final, and volleyball winning the state champ. I mean, there are just so many. The competition, and that's, I think, that's the thing that I think we try to do is, while yes, we realize football gleans a lot of the kind of the lights, we want to make sure that people understand how good this league is top to bottom in every sport. And I think this year is going to be even better. I really and truly do. I think there's a lot of great programs, and these programs just continue. You know, somebody wants to take over the All Sports Trophy, and St. X has kind of had a hold on that, and understandably so. I mean, the state swimming championship, I think, is the St. X Invitational. I mean, it is, right? And that's how good their program is every year. So I just think that's the fun thing about the GCL South is the competition. And I love the student sections. I mean, to me, hopefully getting back to that and doing it the right way, which we try to do, I think that's the thing I look the most forward to. And then still doing a show on 700 WLW on Thursday nights. And Finn, my partner now, it's Gamble and Finn. We have all of our digital stuff on our social media. This is kind of, I'm in my studio G, we call it, which is here in my basement. We do a Facebook Live thing on Mondays. We do some other appearances and stuff. So we enjoy stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun too. So yeah, I just think that stuff kind of keeps me going. And, like I said, until I get to the point where I mentally or physically can't go anymore, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't do this. Maybe I'd like to try to find out sometime, but not just yet.
Cincinnati Treasure, Tom Gamble, president of In-Game Sports. Always appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me on the WCPO High School Insider podcast.
No problem, Chief. I'll look forward to all your insights throughout the season.
Thanks, Tom. Well, as we know, Cincinnati Treasure Tom Gamble has been at this a long time, dealing with a lot of high school football coaches and athletic directors over the years, and does a fantastic job. Look for the 25th anniversary of the Showdown next year, and I think he's going to have something special planned, whether that's at a different venue or a special wrinkle here and there. He wouldn't tell me, but that's definitely something that I would watch for the radar for next season as well. Hey, everybody, you can get this WCPO High School Insider podcast every week, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And I want to remind you as well, we're going to have all the coverage for you of the high school football opening week on WCPO 9 Sports and also WCPO.com. That's all we have for you this week. Look forward to talking to you next week.